Good morning, students. Today we are learning a second part of the fourth lesson. Now, heterotrophic plants. Hetero means they cannot make their own food. They depend on other plants. Now here, heterotrophic plants do not contain chlorophyll. How do the heterotrophic plants live? From where do they get food? Have you seen a yellow, wire-like and leafless climber plant growing on a big tree? What is its name? Now here you can see here this is the tree and on that yellow like a tree. You know that this tree is a heterotrophic plant. Now we have to learn here the plant that grow on a body of other plant to obtain food are called as a parasitic plant, for example Loranthus and Cuscata. Due to the absence of chlorophyll, is the Cuscata is a completely depend on the host plant. Hence, it is said to be the completely parasitic plant. You must have also noticed Loranthus that grow on a tree. Now here, second one part is the next insectivorous plant. Insectivorous plants means here in a simple they give the here hint directly insect. Insectivorous means they are eating insects. Now here we have seen how many plants feed upon insects to obtain nutrition. These insectivorous plants generally grow in a soil or water deficient in nitrogen compounds. The plant body of the Drosera burmani has a flower like appearance. They are having appearance like a Drosera flower like appearance. It grows close to the ground. Its leaves are attractively pink or red in color with a hair at the margin. If you say this is the Drosera burmani flower and it's have a red or pink color attractively, and here is a small, if you check here is a small insects the plant going to the eating. Now here droplets of a streaky substance found at the tips of a hair attract insect. The scientist Johnson's Burman identified this plant in Sri Lanka in 1737. Hence, the plant is named after him, insectivorous plants or Drosera burmani. Now, why does the pitcher plant feed on insects even though it produces food by photosynthesis? Now, here's another one, saprophytic plant. Saprophytic plants means what? These plants eating dead or decaying organisms. These plants eating dead or decaying organisms. They are not eating insects. They are not depend on another plants and they cannot make the food on itself. Now, plants which obtain the food from dead and decaying bodies of other organisms are called saprophytic plants. Various types of fungi like a mushroom and yeast are saprophytes, and fungi secrete digestive enzymes on the dead remains to digest or break down the carbon compounds they contain. The resulting solution is absorbed to nutrients. Now this is a saprophytic plant and they are totally eating dead and decaying bodies. Now here some chart, one chart is there, role of nutrients and effects of their deficiency on plants. Now nutrients, you know that nutrients, nitrogen is very important to the plant. What is the role of that nitrogen in the body's function or plant function? Simple, important component of proteins, chlorophyll and cytoplasm. And if there is a nitrogen deficiency is there in that plant, then what is the effects on plant? Retarded or stunted growth, yellowing of leaves. Just like that, phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, iron, manganese, zinc, all these nutrients having their own functions, and if they are not available in that plant, then these are having effects or deficiency in common slow or retarded growth or yellowing the leaves. These are the effects of deficiency of nutrition in that plant. Now we are learn here nutrition in animal. This concept refers to the body's need for nutrition, mode of ingesting food, and its use in the body. Which are the various nutrients in the food? For what purpose are nutrients used? Now, nutrients necessary for various activities of the body are obtained from food. They are supplied to the various parts of body through the blood. The food that we consume does not mix with blood as it is. It needs to convert into soluble forms that can easily mix in blood. Nutrition in animal involves various steps from ingestion to egestion. Now, first one, ingestion. What is the ingestion? Food is taken into the body. Now, second one, digestion. What is digestion? Digestion is a consumption of food into simple soluble forms. Third one step is this, absorption, transfer of soluble food to the blood. Now fourth one is assimilation, means utilization of absorbed food by cell and tissues for energy production, growth and repair. And last one stage is egestion, removal of waste product and undigestified food from body. These are the simple steps ingestion to egestion to our body or animals. Therefore, types of nutrients in animals. There are three types of nutrients: simple holozoic nutrients, then saprophonic nutrients, and parasitic nutrition. Now, how does ingestion occur in unicellular animals like amoeba? You know that there are amoeba, Aglena, and Paramecium are the unicellular animal, and you know that unicellular means only one cell in that. Therefore, we are calling them unicellular animal. Amoeba does not have organs like hands and mouth. It is a unicellular animal. It can take in food through any part of the surface of its unicellular body. It surrounds the food particle from all sides to take into the cell. After that, digest the food with the help of different enzymes. Undigested food is left behind as a amoeba moves further with the help of pseudopodia. In unicellular animal like amoeba, Euglena, Paramecium, etc., all the steps of nutrition occur within their unicellular body. This is the amoeba. This you can see here, red color given food particle. This is the food particle and this is the nucleus of amoeba. And this is the second stage, how they eat the food. Then next one stage, they just consume or cover the food with that body, and after that they just eat this food. You can see here properly they eating here, red color is there eating this food, and this is a nucleus of that amoeba. Now here, how will you classify the following animals according to their food type? Here are some animals and they classify according to their food type. Now there are lots of types of foods here. Now according to the type of food, animals can be classified as herbivorous, carnivorous, omnivorous, and scavengers and decomposers. There are 5 types of food type or eating food type. Herbivorous means use plants directly as their food. Example are grazing animals, granivorous, seeds eaters, and frugivorous means fruit eaters. There are some animals they are grazing, or some animals they are eating directly for plants, like your goat. These animals is an herbivorous animal. They are eating seeds or they are eating fruits. Then carnivorous animals. First one herbivorous finish. Now carnivorous animal. Animal that depends on the other animals for their food are carnivorous. Are directly depend on the plants for food. Indirectly depend on the plants for food. Example are animals that feed on herbivorous predators, animals that feed on insects, insectivorous. What is a predator? Just like a lion, tiger, food. They are eating animals, and they are eating slightly another animals like a buffalo. In a forest they get the some animals for eating. Now third one is omnivorous. Omnivorous animals, omnivorous that obtain their food from both plants and animals are called omnivorous. Example are monkey, chimpanzee, and human. It's a simple omnivorous means they can eat animals also and plants also. An example, monkey, chimpanzee, human. We are eating some flowers or plants, and we are eating also animals like chicken, mutton, and lots of things. Some of the organisms around us perform the function of cleaning and conserving the environment by the very act of feeding themselves. They are called scavengers and decomposers. Now there are three types you learn properly, but now two more uh, types are there. Two more types of their nutrition, and they get their food type. Now scavengers obtain their food from dead bodies of animals. For example, vulture, crow, hyena. You know that they just get the food from dead bodies of animals, and they just cleaning this environment, okay, and conserving our environment. And decomposers are some microbes which obtain their food from decomposing the dead bodies of organisms and other materials. Decomposing other materials means when you see any animal dead on the road, after some days, mice or rat, after some days it's giving a bad smell because of decomposer. Some microbes are eating these animals, and because of them we get the bad smell, and this animal, dead animal, decompose. And scavengers also cleaning this environment and conserve our environment. Now next one type is a saprogenic nutrition. Some insects, unicellular animals, etc., obtain the nutrition by observing the liquid organic material from the dead bodies of other animals or from the environment. This is a saprogenic nutrition. Example, housefly, ants, and spiders absorb liquid material. It's a simple of that saprogenic nutrition. Absorb liquid material. You know that when you are sitting at home, ants, spider, horseflies, these animals just bite us. Ants and houseflies bites us, and they get the liquid material to their eating or dead bodies of other animals. Then another one, parasitic nutrition. Have you seen small animals on the bodies of animals like a dogs and buffalo? Which are the small animals? This is a small animals. This is small animals on dogs and buffaloes. They are totally depend on their body. From where do These little animals obtain their food, and they get obtain from food from these animals. Some animals depend upon other animals for food. They can obtain the food only from animals on whom they are dependent. This is called parasitic nutrition. These animals, bedbug, louse, and tick, these animals totally depend on these buffalo and dog and cow's body. They obtain their food from that animal whom they are dependent. Some animals live on a body surface of other animal and obtain their food by sucking their blood. This is called ectoparasitic nutrition. Sucking their blood, it's called ectoparasitic nutrition, and such animals are called ectoparasitic animals. For example, louse, bedbug, tick, etc. Animals like a tapeworm and roundworm live inside the body of other animals and obtain their food. You know, tapeworm and roundworm, they live inside the body of other animals and obtain their food. This is endoparasitic nutrition, and these animals are known as endoparasitic endoparasites.